So just as a quick legal disclaimer, I did get this as a review sample with the only expectation I make a video on it. And this is the Silverstone Triton 650 RX. And it's a Cybenetics gold rated 650 watt power supply with hardwired cables and all the latest ATX and PCIe power standards. And inside the box, you get some documentation. Power cord, which is, let's see here, 18 gauge. Obviously the power supply. And some mounting screws. And here's the power supply. I like the fun little pattern they put on the fan grill. And this does have the cables that have the kind of fake braided look to them. I'm not super keen on it, but it doesn't really cost any more money to do, and it doesn't hurt anything, so it's the power supply version of carbon fiber stickers. But yeah, pretty substantial power supply. It has fairly long cables. Just untie that here. And as you can see, as it goes completely out of frame, these cables just go on and on. So if you're building something in a big case like a NAS, or you're doing a server, you shouldn't have to worry about the length of the cables. And this retails for $109.99 upon filming. And price-wise, it's pretty comparable to all the other quality brand power supplies that are 650 watt gold rated. You can get modular power supplies in the same price range, either from Silverstone or someone else. But I was kind of curious on why they offered a hardwired power supply, considering people lean towards modular more than ever. And basically it's to give people options. And the other thing is that was pointed out is you generally don't see hardwired power supplies that are also gold rated. Usually it's the cheaper bronze power supplies that are hardwired. And I'm kind of glad that they give the option to go hardwired, because I don't really understand why companies bother with going fully modular, considering let's see here, almost every motherboard is going to need 24 pin and CPU power. Granted, there are other people that want to do fully custom cables, but that costs a lot of money, and I don't know about you, but I'm too cheap. As fun as it would be to have, custom cables that were all the perfect length, I'm just too cheap for stuff like that. Then on top of that, I just like it for reliability reasons, because I've seen videos on YouTube where people are troubleshooting their PC and they find out they didn't have the cable plugged in all the way on the power supply side of things, and yeah, that would be really frustrating. Haven't had that happen to me yet, but I give it time. Also, I have mixed feelings about the new GPU power connector. So this connector was previously referred to as the 12 volt high power connector, but now it's the 12 volt 2x6. And I did some reading on it because I'm not very familiar with this beyond the controversies. And apparently the what do you call this? The PCIe Gen 5 standard. What they've changed is the pin depth, which is supposed to help with good contact, I guess. I do like the fact that the connector is labeled for what it's rated for. So this one can push 450 watts of power. And this does have the signaling pins, I believe is what these do, that help the power supply and the GPU communicate with each other so they know how much power you're working with. And this does come with a good mix of other connectors. So these are your EPS 12-volt connectors. And then it has a pair of PCIe 8-pin if you want to go with that power option instead. And then it has two chains that are running 3 SATA power connectors and one 4-pin peripheral on each one. The only thing this doesn't have is the 3.5-inch floppy drive power connector, but there's not really very many things that I can think of that you can buy that still use that. Maybe a really weird USB expansion card, or trying to think of something else I might see that on. Maybe a card reader or a fan power hub, but pretty much everything now is going towards SATA, thankfully. You still see a little bit of 4-pin though, so it is nice that they include that as well. And it's also rated for 100% load at 40C, which is nice. I did not realize that that's becoming more of a standard when it comes to high quality power supplies like this. So let's see here somewhere. Might just be on the website actually. But yeah, when it comes to these high quality power supplies, being able to load them down to 100% load at safe operating temperature is pretty common, which is nice. I'm still thinking when I build stuff the old school days where you didn't really want to load your power supply down to more than like 80%, 100% of the time. But yeah. So I think the next thing to do would be to see what idle noise test is, since I don't really have a fancy way to do a load test on this power supply. I don't really expect there to be any issues though with what is rated for output wise, because Silverstone is a reputable brand. It's not a random alphabet soup brand where the thing weighs a half a pound and says it's rated for like 2 billion watts. But yeah, we'll see how noisy it is idle. Alright, so I got set up here with my very unscientific test for noise levels. And I'm going to be silent here for a second so you can see what ambient room temperature is, or room noise levels, and then I will fire it up. I do have my little power supply jumper I use just to turn it on. Alright, so we're doing 7 to 9 dB. Oddly enough, I'm seeing quite a range on the dB from the phones. I think I might be picking up vibration from the foam. I'm gonna hold it. Yeah, this is a very unscientific test. I think the foam's actually resonant. Yeah, the foam's resonating with the power supply on the table. I think it has enough mass where it's actually influencing. Otherwise, yeah, it's not that much louder than ambient. A couple dB. I don't think. Oh, yeah, there you go. It does say in there 18 dB minimum. So overall, pretty quiet fan. Just a matter of isolating it so it doesn't resonate with whatever it's in contact with, and amplifying the amount of noise it makes. It doesn't appear. Yeah, when I was looking at it, I didn't see it either, but it doesn't have a silent mode. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that. So it has a nice little chart. So it does ramp up based on load, but otherwise it stays pretty quiet up to 50%, as you can see, and then it starts to go up in the higher RPMs. I wouldn't be shocked if this fan was the yeah, I can't tell. I wouldn't be shocked if this fan was the Vista 120. Let's see, I have, so this is a Vista 140. Just want to look at this real quick with my own eyes. Where's the RPMs? It's slightly, this one has a slightly lower RPM. But I think this is probably comparable to one of their kind of their mid-tier quiet fans, like the Vista 140. But yeah, overall I can't complain. I mean, it does power supply stuff. I like the fact that it's hardwired, so you don't have to deal with modular cables, and you get the higher reliability because it's one less connector to deal with. And having the nice long cables are going to be handy for the build I plan on doing with it once the case comes in. And there will be some extra cables, but the case I'm using will have enough spare space, so they'll just get tucked away for later. And honestly, I don't know what all I will be using yet, but probably won't be using the 12 volt 2x6 connector because I don't have any GPUs that new. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.